Hey guys, Mike Goldstein of Easy Dating Coach here, and we are live. Yes. Man, do you know how long it's been since I've done a live stream? I don't either. It's been months, and I miss you people, our lovely community. We're together. Go in the comments. I'm going to be checking it. I do not have an assistant or anyone here today, so bear with me. I'm going to be using my computer trying to teach things. We're going to have fun today. First things first is tell me your name and tell me where you're from. I'll give you an example. I am Mike. I am currently in LA, Hermosa Beach, more specifically, even more fun. And what we're doing today is we're going to do 7 questions that I curated for myself on how to transform your dating strategy to get a guy in 60 days. So what we're going to do is roll through these 7 questions. Then even more fun, which I've been missing, is answering all of your questions. Caroline, thank you for joining us from the Philippines. Bet you didn't know I studied in the Philippines in college many years ago. Amber from British Columbia, go Canada. Nice. I was rooting for your beach volleyball team pretty recently. Whew. Okay. So how to transform your dating strategy to get a guy in 60 days. I want to go on a mini rant, and then we're going to get into the topic, if that's okay. So I was talking to one of our colleagues that's in our space, and this guy runs literally a multi-million-dollar organization where he sells dating products for like $59. And he's got this product, like how to transform your guy into an amazing man. And he said he's literally made millions of dollars over the years selling this one $59 product. I said, cool. And then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, this is nuts. He's a genius. He's a marketing genius because this is what women are searching for. There's a ton of women out there that have got this guy, and maybe it's been going on for like years where just for some reason there's no commitment. For some reason the relationship's not quite there. And a lot of women are looking to how do I get this guy to stick? How do I transform him into my ideal guy? And he's got this whole strategy, and I didn't go into the details, but it made me think about this is what women want. This is what women are buying, which is a great thing, but it's not quite what women need. It's not what women need because I know, we're not changing the guy. The dude is who he is, right? So then I spent a long time thinking about my purpose and why I started this business and all these things that I wanted to do within our community for all of you. And it became crystal clear. I got into this, over 10 years ago, because I was dating a woman who I thought I was going to marry, and then she cheated on me with one of my very close friends. And then I cried my eyes out for 3 months straight. And so I experienced that horrible, horrible pain that a lot of us have felt during a breakup of someone you truly love and when it goes awry. And then after it, I realized, I was just as much to blame as she was. I didn't understand women. I wasn't the partner that I needed to be because I didn't know how to be it because I didn't understand women. So anyway, I went on a journey to understand women, to learn everything about dating, relationships, online dating. And so my why is I don't want people to experience pain. If you want a relationship, we'll put you in one, but we're going to do 2 things. This may not be what you're going to be searching for on Google, but this is what you need. You need to pick the right person. And then once you pick the person, you need to know how to handle a relationship. So I wanted to help people with that so they don't experience pain. And I want people to enjoy themselves. So that is my what is have people who want to fall in love and be happy in it. And my why is no pain and nothing but happiness. Let's say hi to a few more people. Hi, Amber. Hi, Viv. Cindy, Huntington Beach. I'm in Hermosa Beach. I'm right above you. Tacoma, Washington. Inez. Did I pronounce that right? Annette. Yes. New York. I used to live up there a few years ago. Christine. Hi, Helena. Does everyone know Helena Hart? She's the greatest female teaching feminine energy coach on the planet, and also does coaching with me. Helena's making fun of me. Do you guys all see the cartoon in the character, or the cartoon in the corner that Helena's making fun of me for? Watch this. Helena Hart. It's like, I think $10 a month to get rid of the cartoon. And she's like, why won't you spend the $10? I'll even buy it for you. I will not do it. I'm happy with the duck in the corner. San Diego. Constance. Victoria, nice to see you. Renee, hello. Hi, Marilyn. Oh, nice picture. Look at you. All right. Oh, how do I get this thing back? Oh, man, I stink at this. All right, bam. Did it. All right, so if any of you, we're going to be on this for a while, but if any of you are looking for one-on-one coaching with me or Helena Hart, go down there and click the link. You can set up a time with us. What I'm looking for, and just so you know, for coaching is I just want folks that are the highest priority in their life is finding love or working on their love life. If they're in a relationship, we'll help you with that. If you're not in one, we'll get you one, and we'll do it all one-on-one on video. We'll do it together. And two, you've got your life together. You're financially stable. You have money to invest. You have time to invest, and we're going to rock and roll. It's only going to need an hour and a half a week of your time to get dates, and we will get you a person hopefully in 60 days, but certainly before 6 months is up, a person that you are very happy with, not a crappy person. That's a waste of time. All right, folks, let's get into the topic. Tammy loves Helena too. I can't pronounce this Raina, but I am taking questions, but I'm going to do all of them at the end. I'm going to run through 7 of my own questions. So if you write a question, I'll try to scroll up and find it, but we're going to rock and roll with the topic first. All right, how to transform your dating strategy to get a guy in 60 days. This really resonated with me because this is a topic I know all of you need. And a lot of you will not click when I make a title like this and not click when I want to talk about this. Because for whatever reason, when we're talking about online dating, no one wants to talk about it. And no one wants to talk about the blood, sweat, and tears that actually happen to get a relationship. And frankly, 95% of people that I talk to hate online dating and don't really want to do it. But then I show them my system, and it still at times can suck, but it gets results, and you get your guy, and you get your happily ever after. So I'm going to run through it, and I'm going to show you how to do it right now today. And why am I qualified to talk about this? About 8 years ago or so, I came up with an online dating methodology, and it was getting 83% of people into relationships. And it was so successful, it got me on the Today Show. And then Match, OkCupid, and eHarmony all saw what I was doing, and they're like, no one's this successful in online dating. What are you doing? So now for the last 7-ish years or so, I've been partnered with Match, OkCupid, and eHarmony, where I work with their data, and I've showed them my process. And so now everything that I'm going to tell you today is based on millions of analytics from their data scientists that will show you the most efficient way to do online dating in the most systematic process so that you can actually get a result of finding an amazing man. Now, once again, to come full circle on what I was talking about earlier, we're not transforming a guy. You know, I love, if Helena's still on, she'll attest to this. She got married pretty recently to this wonderful guy, Tom. And she said from the beginning, everything was easy. It was just so smooth. Everyone I talk to that's in amazing relationships, it's so easy. I was just talking to another dating coach before this, Kim Quick. She's been married for 10 years. Said in the first 2 years, we don't fight about anything. I can't remember a fight. It's just smooth. So if you're having these difficult times or things that aren't aligning, it's because this is not your person. Don't buy the $59 product to try to transform him. Remove him and free up your heart, free up your headspace for a new guy. All right? And once you're freed up, get excited because we're going to show you the process that's the most efficient process in the country at getting a guy right now. So even if you're not free right now, you'll be able to use this if you decide to become single. And in the last 8 years, I found that women kind of get motivated by the fact that they've got something exciting up their sleeve, like, ooh, I got Mike's process. Maybe I should get back in the dating pool. All right. So what is the best way to get a guy these days? 1 in 3 marriages is happening through online dating. It is phenomenal. And we've still got a little bit of a pandemic happening right now. We're kind of at the tail end, hopefully. So folks are looking for connection, and they're seeking that online, especially at the very beginning of the pandemic. Online dating went through the roof, and those companies were making some moolah because a lot of people were using them. It's still up, and so there's still a lot of people online and still looking for connection. So 1 out of 3 people getting married from online dating. Let's show you how we do this. Let's talk first about the profile picture. So this is from millions of data points where I came up with this. Not me. I work with the data scientists. They do all the work. They're smart. The picture. This is important. A lot of people are going to tell you have a headshot where you're nice and close. That's nonsense. Don't do that. The headshot performs worse than what I'm about to tell you. Get rid of your headshots. Your face needs to make up, this part of your face, 8 to 15% of the surface area of the entire photograph. So if this is the photograph, this thing needs to make up 8 to 15% of the surface area. So not too close. I used to do this webinar where I'd have Natalie Portman really close and with a ton of pimples. I'm like, even Natalie Portman does not look good very close. So be at the appropriate distance from the camera. So if any of you are deciding to go use a professional photographer, just make sure you tell them this. This is the single most important thing you can do for a profile picture. Unless you want to cheat and put a doggy in the picture, that gets a lot of messages too. But if you don't have a dog, face 8 to 15% of the surface area. Hi, Jenny. I love Columbus. What's the main street there? With all the restaurants. So delicious. Had some good Italian food out there. Anyway. You guys feel free to comment with stuff as things are going. I'll say hi and try to respond. All right, what should you write in your profile? I've written, I don't even know, thousands of profiles with people. And then when it came to writing my own profile, when I wanted to date, I'm like, oh boy, what do I write? I don't know. So I want to give you a structure that makes this really easy so that instead of the summary, you're like, what do I write? What you're going to do is have a section that says six things you can't live without. And then I want you to write 6 things. Now within this section, I want you to be as specific as possible. Like I think some folks will be like, my iPhone. I want to know what app, what function of the iPhone. And then if you're like, I like text messaging. Cool. Who are you messaging? Well, I message my sister. Why is messaging your sister so important? Well, my sister's in the army in Afghanistan, and this is the only way we can talk and we can share and we can get together. So that becomes your 6 things you can't live without. Not your iPhone. It's texting my sister who's in Afghanistan, or my iPhone, so that I can text my sister in Afghanistan. So I want that level of specificity so that people can really get to know you. And then you go down that list and they're hopefully should be getting a little bit of a picture of who you are based on what you select. Then I want you to do the second topic in the summary. Your typical Friday night is. So I want to know what time you finish work on a Friday. This kind of gives the vibe of what's your work-life balance? Are you a finish at 8 person? Are you a finish at 3, 5? Tell me what it looks like. And then are you go to a restaurant, go to a bar, stay at home, watch a movie? And then do you order delivery? Do you do pickup? Do you cook your own dinner? And then if you do cook, or then list what you get so we can kind of see what your eating habits are. And then what time do you go to bed? What time do you wake up? What do you do the next day? This gives a really good vibe of what lives coming together can be like. I find that really resonates with a lot of men because men crave freedom, right? Men want to be free. They love it. If your schedules are similar or you can put that together, the freedom's still there. How are these lives going to mold where he can still kind of feel free but have this amazing woman with him? So let's paint that picture to make sure you guys align. Also, sometimes it's kind of annoying, right? Like if you're go to bed at 9 and he's a night owl that goes to bed at 2, I'm not saying it doesn't work, but it's nice to know what you're getting into. And maybe that's important to some people. All right. And then if you want to do briefly what you're looking for in a man, you can put that under there too. And then that's it for your summary. Boom, done. Wasn't that easy, guys? What do you think? Pretty easy to write a summary? Do you have any questions about writing the profile specifically that I can answer now before we move on? Tammy, hi from San Francisco. Tammy, you and Helena are great. Thank you. I agree. High Street. Okay. All right. Let's keep moving. How much time per week should you spend on online dating to be effective? If you know what you're doing, and I'm going to keep uncovering my process. It's 1.5 hours a week. And I want you to set up a schedule. So for example, Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 8 to 8:30. Let's give you some insider information. Stuff you don't know. Men do online dating in the morning. Women do online dating at night. I don't know why. If I had to guess, it's something to do with blood flow, and men wake up horny and then they want to, do online dating, get a woman. Women, maybe at night, they're feeling a little lonely, they're bored, they have free time. Let's do online dating. So if you want to be on at the time that men are on, you can be on in the morning. But it doesn't really matter. If you send a message at night, they'll see it in the morning. Most importantly, I want you to build a cadence. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 to 8:30. That's your cadence. I want you to get used to that. Why is this so important? If you have Match.com and you have the app on your phone, you're going to be getting messages throughout the day, maybe opening messages from guys. What you're going to do, you get a message at 1 p.m., 1:05, you look at your phone. Like, ooh, Frank is 20 years older than me. No, thank you. All right, 2 hours later, Bob. Ooh, he said, nice butt. That's not going to work. 9 o'clock. This guy from wherever says something. He lives 400 miles away. I hate online dating. This sucks. That's 3 times today. I looked at my phone and 3 times it was awful. Online dating is a numbers game. Dating is a numbers game. So I don't want you getting discouraged doing one at a time. I want you looking at 10, 20 messages at a time. And what I'm expecting is if you're looking at 10 or 20, I'm expecting 1 or 2 to be possibilities for you. And that's the math. Realistically, I'm expecting 95% to be garbage, 5% to be good. So if there's 20, most of the time, about 1 incoming will make sense for you. So get behind those numbers. No complaining unless you got 19. Don't complain if something's bad. Just do the math. Be like, hold on, did I get 20? That's when the complaining can happen. Once you've seen, if you've gotten 20 and none of them were good, all right, fair enough. And that's, if I was working with a client, that's what we do. We look at how many and what's happening. All right, real quick. This is important. I don't think many guys even read the profile, to be honest. Audrey, that is a great comment. Thank you. Here's the deal. A lot of men that are just looking to get laid may not be reading a profile. They're just like, ooh, pretty woman, let me message her. And they bang out a message. But think about the guy that wants to settle down, maybe the guy you're looking for. What he does is he treats a profile picture like a binary thing. Attractive, not attractive. All right, I'm attracted. Now let me read the content and see if we have things in common. A guy that's life partnership focused, he cares deeply about the profile. And frankly, he probably cares about that more than the picture. So the guys you actually want are reading. So we're not catering to the guys you don't want, where maybe you just put up pictures in a no profile and you still get messages. We want to cater to the guy that's going to commit, the guy that's looking for a relationship. So yes, the right guys do read profiles. The wrong guys may not. I want to touch on this real quick, Cindy. Don't you write about who you are looking for? I went into detail so as to avoid certain types. Hadn't worked. Oh, this is such a great comment. Thank you, Cindy. So at the end of profiles, I see women all the time go, I don't want a guy who smokes. I don't want a guy who doesn't have a job. I don't want some loser that doesn't have money. I don't want someone who has an ex with baggage and 9 kids. So how does this come off? I don't want. Comes off negative. You got to flip the script. You got to say the things you do want. I am a bubbly, fun woman looking for my match. That's the same thing. And like a women at all the time say, I don't want hookups. No hookups. Men see that as like possibly a woman that may be jaded or doesn't seem happy. So once again, we got to cater to the audience that you're trying to attract, not on the audience you're trying to push away. We don't care about all the men that are wrong for you. That's going to come in regardless. Online dating, it's going to happen. We're going to treat this like a funnel. A lot of things are going to come in at the top, and we got to get it down to the bottom, to the one, to the guys we like. But the way our funnel works is if our profile is catered to people we want, we are going to get some of those to fall into our funnel. However, if our profile just caters to the ones we don't want, well, guess what? We're never going to get any good guys at the top of the funnel falling in. Oh, thanks, Audrey. Appreciate it. Jenny, remind me to come back to this question. This is a great question, but we're going to stay to my topic. I've got a few more questions left, and then we'll get to this, Jenny, I promise. Just remind me because I have a bad memory. All right. We're doing 1.5 hours of online dating a week. And what we're going to do is what I call a 50-12-1 system. So first of all, we're going to check our messages, right? And we're going to see if we got anything of potential. If we've got some guys to work with, cool, we can respond. But what I really want women doing is doing my 50-12-1. And what that is sending 50 messages, asking 50 guys out. So you're sending 50 messages. How you're executing this is literally you're not reading the profile. You're just sending it to guys that look half decent. And we're banging out 50 in like 10 minutes or less. What we're hoping for is from the 50 that you're asking on a date, 12 of them are going to say yes. And then from the 12, you are going to pick one. So I call this 50-12-1. This is the system that has been the most successful system in the country for women. Now, I'm doing it at a very high level. I can't go into all the nuances on this session because there's a lot to this. But at a high level, this is what we're doing. If you want to do one-on-one coaching with me or Helena or both of us, go sign up for a strategy session below. And then we can actually do this with you and make sure we execute it properly. Unfortunately, I've had folks try to do the 50-12-1, like with, the bits and pieces of information I give here, and it's harder to execute. But this is it. So 50 messages asking guys out. And you're probably like, Mike, that's insane. How am I supposed to get to my one guy if I'm just randomly messaging? Great question. This is more efficient. Coas. Some men are in relationships. Some men don't check their Match account. Some men are not going to be interested in you. Some men are just not going to respond because they forget because they're busy. Anyway, from the 50, we're going to get 12 responses. So instead of investing upfront time and doing research, we're not. We're going to send a message quickly. From the 12, now we're going to research. From the 12, you are going to pick the guy that looks like this guy makes sense for you. Profile, a lot of things in common, similar values, maybe. So you pick one to go on a date with. Now you're going to repeat this 6 to 8 times until you find a guy that sticks that you really like. And this system gets 83% of my clients into relationships when they're executing it right. Do any of you guys have questions about the 50-12-1? All right. So maybe some of you are thinking, okay, this is a good one. I get this all the time, Audrey. I must be on the wrong dating app. I haven't seen 50 men that were even mildly decent. I hate to say this, but there are great guys on there. I want you to get into, for most women and even a lot of men, it should start becoming a very binary physical choice in terms of looks. What I mean by that is, let's say, when men are looking for sex, right? They put women on the 0 to 10 physical look scale. And maybe a guy's like, I'm going to try to get 8, 9s, and 10s because they're beautiful and I want to have sex with them. And soon he'll quickly realize when he goes on these dates, like if he gets the dates with 8, 9s, he'll be like, ooh, the personalities don't match. Ooh, the values don't match. And maybe at a certain part of his life, he's like, don't care, they're hot, let's go. Eventually, a man who's looking for a relationship is not going to care about 8, 9, 10. He's going to make binary choices, which is, am I attracted to her? Would I want to have sex with her at some point? And if it's a yes, now let's see if all these values align. So Audrey, if you're on Bumble or whatever, you can't really see if you have any values or similar interests because there's not much on there. But if you're on Match, hopefully they've written a profile and you can see if things make sense. So let's talk about a little science. Maybe that'll help. I'm a little nerdy at heart. There's a science experiment done probably over 20 years ago where they had people looking at yearbook pictures. Yes, back when yearbooks were around. So they had a woman look at a guy's picture, his yearbook picture, and then rate him on a 0 to 10 scale of attractiveness. Let's say she rated the guy a 4. Then what they do is let them talk to this guy. If he had an amazing personality, a 4 could turn into an 8. If he didn't have a great personality, a 4 could turn into a 0. So what we've found in the science experiment is that women could move people on sexual attractiveness 4 basis points based on personality. So my argument to you, Audrey, is find guys that have potentially a lot personality-wise and go after guys that looks-wise, at least initially, are higher than a 4, and this is for everyone. As long as the guy looks higher than a 4, that can turn into an 8. A 5 can turn into a 9. A 6 can turn into a 10. If you guys ever go on my testimonial page, and I hope Nick never watches this, but Isabella went on a date with this guy, Nick. And I'm like, are you attracted to this guy? So we sent our 50-12 one. He ended up being the 1 because they had a lot in common. She goes, she goes on date 1. She's like, I'm not attracted. Like, no way. I'm like, okay, how's the conversation? It was a 10 out of 10. I'm like, cool. Are you going to see him again? She's like, yeah. Date 2, you attracted to him yet? No. Date 3, you attracted to him yet? No. Date 4, hey, Isabella, you still going to go on date 5? Like, what are you thinking? Yeah, I'll go. Like, the conversation's so good. I'm like, cool. Finally, on date 8, our boy Nick gets up the courage and plants one on Isabella, their first kiss. She calls me all excited. She goes, Mike, Nick is the sexiest man alive. I like this story because they've been married now for, 4 or 5 years, and they're happy. But you got to give some things some time sometimes. Hi. Toronto. Love it. Audrey, I love that. All right, numbers game, 50-12-1. We got to get to 50 guys. I'll tell you what, I've been doing this so long, I call it 50-12-1, but just so some people are aware, sometimes it's 150-4-1. It all depends. Sometimes I do 50, I get 30. You got to see how your profile, how your location, how everything responds. I've worked with 80-year-old clients where sometimes I, have to send more. It's a tougher market. So sometimes it's 100-4-1, but the goal is, if you're taking this seriously, to get love in 60 days, you got to find 1 date a week. So you got to do whatever it takes to get that. If you got to send 200 messages, if you got to send 300, you get there. So that's part of it. Thanks, Regina. I like being right. Oh, thank you. Ooh, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad you removed these men because that's not healthy. Maybe we need to figure out something you can ask on dates to figure that out early so we can save you some time in that. We'd have to think about that. Does anyone have any ideas for Annette, for something that they could casually ask on dates to find out if a guy's possessive? I think we could figure something out that's not going to push him away, but is gentle. Let me see if I can think of something. Like, how much time do you like to spend together? What, when you're in partnership, like how much time do you like to spend together? Do you like each other having separate activities? What are your feelings on, like, if we're in partnership, like, am I allowed to hang out with a male friend? Like my buddy Greg, hypothetical Greg for Annette. I have a really good friend, Greg, that we go to lunch once a week. Like, is that acceptable when you're in partnership? And see what the deal is. Yep, boom, Audrey's got it. This is true. The really sensitive, possessive guys, when you say you have male friends, they'll kind of give you a look like, ooh, male friends? All right, next question for online dating. Oh, there we go. Oh, these are good. Ooh, I love that. That's a good one. Nice job, Regina. Don't we have the best community here? Like geniuses in dating. Beautiful. These are all great questions. And you get to know the person. Does this vibe with what you want? Boom. I mean, all of you are geniuses. That's a wonderful question. Any psychologist will be very happy to know the relationship with parents. Go Pam. I love that. What may be helpful is, I'll take a little sidebar with Pam, is writing down the 5 things you really need in a partner. And then once you have that document, well, first write down everything you want in a partner. So maybe you got a list of like 40 to 60 items, and then play devil advocate and figure out which 5 you really need. And then from those 5, see which guys maybe still fit in the box. So maybe you'll be able to narrow it down if you want to, or if you're just living the dream, dating 3 guys and having fun, like, do it, Pam. Yeah. Doot, doot. Go Pam. That's what I'm saying. Pam, what's your secret? How do we get 3 men? Okay. So from the 50-12 one, you're probably wondering maybe what you should message. This has to do out, basically. My patented message, that's not patented, but I like to pretend it is. It's just very simply, hi, I hope you're doing well. How's your week going? When you get a free moment, let me know if you'd like to grab a coffee, a drink sometime, or if you're in some place warm, if you'd like to go on a walk sometime. And it works great. And you're probably wondering, like, isn't there a better way to do this? And there is. If you really are having a ton of trouble getting men to respond, just like how you want to be spoken to, the best message is one where they read your profile and they go, ooh, Mike, I see you like soccer. Like, what position do you play? Something that's super specific, and ask a question. Those get more responses. But what I've found testing this over 10 plus years is it's not worth the effort. The amount of more messages you get on a large scale, when I test this over millions of data points, is not that much. So for most of you, you can get away with this generic message and guys are going to respond. The other thing is, like, men don't get that many messages. So when they do get one, it's not like you're fighting over too many other people sending the messages. They're just excited. They're like, A woman messaged me. Let's go. They're pumped. Versus ladies, your experience is totally different. For a lot of you, you could be getting anywhere from 5 to 20 messages in a day. And so you want to differentiate. You're like, ooh, this guy spent some time and effort and we have things in common. But you don't need to do that when you're messaging a guy. He might be getting 2 a month. So he's excited when he gets a message. No. Anyone's capable of cheating. Yes, it can. Yeah, I think we all are looking for someone special, right? So the goal here is, once again, 50, 12, 1. If we're sending 50 messages, we have 12 guys that want to go on a date, we're picking one. So ultimately, if you're not getting to a high quality guy, all you need to do is send more messages. So even if you're getting, you have 6 options, maybe from doing nothing, you just show up and you have 6 decent options, but none of them really look that exciting. Well, then you got to send the messages. And you got to basically get to one promising option so that when you go on that date that week, you're like, getting my hair ready. I'm excited. Not like what a lot of us tend to do. It's like, person might work. I guess I'll show up. No, that is a waste of time. Do the pre-work so you can go on a date being excited to go. And do not set up 2 dates a week or 3 dates a week. I don't care if my system kicks ass, which it does, and gets you a lot of options. Put the next date to the next week. This is having balance. This is making this fun. If you have to get your hair done and your makeup right and show up 2, 3 times a week, that sucks. You're going to start hating it. Reason being, you're going to show up to these dates. And like I said, we're doing this 6 to 8 times, right? We got to meet 6 to 8 men. That means that probably 5 of the dates aren't that great, or they're not the one. And 1 or 2 of those dates probably sucks, like is awful and not even close. And you want to go home and eat some chocolate. So we can't have 2 or 3 of those in a week. We have to enjoy this process. So 6 nights of our week are doing whatever the heck you enjoy. And then 1 night could be super fun and the best night ever because it might be the first date of the love of your life, or it could be a total dud. But as long as you have the other 6 nights having fun, we'll be in good shape. Let's see what this has to say. This looks interesting. Create a spreadsheet that has the different guys' names and what you like about them. Also put what you wore on first date so you don't wear it again too soon. Haha. Huh. Jenny, let me make your life even easier. Get a first date outfit. I love this for women. I'll never forget. I heard this advice maybe 6 years ago from a stylist. What happens a lot of the time on dates, right? Women put on clothes that they look freaking hot in, but maybe don't feel so comfortable in, where all of a sudden they're pushing this up, pushing that down, moving things around. That's not your outfit. Find something where you feel beautiful, that you don't need to fidget, where you can just focus on getting to know the person. So then you look great, and you guys can do what the date is meant to be and see if you have things in common. So just get, your first date outfit that you don't fidget in. Why do the men that approach me and want to get to know me are married? I don't know. Frankly, who cares? Let me explain. 50, 12, 1. We put that in our bucket of 12. Of the we're sending messages to 50 guys, 12 of them want to go on a date, we're picking one. Of the 12, if you've got 3 married guys, in theory, we're not going out with them because we want men that are actually available. They just go in the not going to happen thing. We cannot spend, let me get this off the screen because it's too big. We cannot spend any time or as little time as possible with the men that don't make sense for us. The way we get to love quickly in 60 days is our efforts go toward men that could potentially be our guy. No energy is spent with a guy that will not be our guy. If you become this laser focused, you get the results. So any guy that, says something wrong, is like, hey, nice butt, and something stupid, or hey, I'm married, good. Don't talk to him. On to a guy who's available. So that goes into, we talk about going on 6 to 8 dates, Coach Tab. Get out of there. The dude's married. Bye. And that's just one of your 6 to 8 dates to find someone you like. So that guy stinks. Go on your next one. Doesn't matter. Just get rid of them. Beautiful. Jeans. That'll work. So this is important. This is exactly my point, Cindy. My head was spinning with dates that were not working out so well. Need time to regroup, so feel good before going on another date. That's why I built 50-12-1. With the 12 date options every week, you're picking good dates. A higher percentage chance of them being good dates. What we do is we start settling. If we don't send messages, stuff comes in. And we don't wait for 20 guys to come in. We wait for maybe 10 or 15, and we're like, yeah, this guy might work. And then we go on that date. And then we keep doing that. This might work, might work, might work. I want love, so if it might work, I'm going to go. Give him a chance. That doesn't get the result. The result is when you have big numbers, 50-12-1 or more, and you pick a guy that looks exciting. And if you put enough exciting guys on dates with you, one of them is going to be your guy. And what I mean by exciting, again, is you read their profile and there's things in common, something to talk about. When you got nothing in common and you're like, well, he looks cute, has a decent job, give it a go. Those dates are low percentage shots. Occasionally one of them will land, but we want to increase our chances here. Think about if gun to the head here, we're trying to get love in 60 days. How are we going to accomplish this is we've got to go on the right dates. And this is the mindset that gets you to fall in love. Because even if we don't, let's say for some reason you don't do my method right, which sometimes can be hard without working, putting me as your coach and doing it together. And if you want to work with me, go sign up down below. But if you get this mindset, you're going to get love faster. And that's what you need to do. What do you think about profiles that say they want a companion to travel, but also say they want you to be able to basically be able to pay for themselves? I think that's pretty reasonable. I'd have to get to know this person to see if they qualify to be a partner with Denise. If I was coaching that person, I wouldn't necessarily tell them to write it that way because I think it kind of comes off a little like offensive, like maybe they have a thing with money. But that seems reasonable, right? Like we're all adults here. We should be able to pay for ourselves in theory. I know, there's a lot of women that have that same issue. I have a lot of friends that are female that they make a lot of money and they keep running into guys that are making way less than them. And it's a concern for them. It doesn't mean we write like, hey, you better have a good job, or do not apply if you don't have, if you're not making 200K plus, like that's going to turn off the guy who does make 200K plus. He's like, ugh, gold digger. But yes, I would give these people a chance if other things are aligned, if it looks exciting, right? Audrey, thanks for bringing this up. Hey guys, do I sound better? I'm going to bring the mic closer. Is that better? Do I sound better? I just brought the mic a little closer. Let me know, or I can move it back. That's funny. This is important. A guy's going to test you, and we're going to see if he's serious. Even a good guy can mess these things up, right? And say like, hey, let's go. I live 100 miles away. Let's meet at the bar that's like 10 feet from my house. And yeah, maybe he's trying to get laid, but he can change his mind, right? So let's say you say, I'd love to go on a date with you. It'd make me so happy if we met halfway. Could you pick a place halfway between us? And he's like, okay. And then he's like, let's meet at this place. And then you show up. And then you see, maybe he gets to know you. He looks at you and he's like, and you're talking and there's so much in common. Maybe he's like, maybe I should see what Audrey's all about. So I wouldn't rule these guys out, but I would have boundaries and have value ourselves and say what we want. All right, 50-12-1. That means 11 guys are not getting a date. Well, let's clarify. Sometimes in 50-12-1, in your 12, you have two good ones, let's say. So you put one date for this week and the second date for next week. So now you're booked up for the next 2 weeks. And rarely or occasionally you can do 2 in 1 week, but next week make sure you get to 1. But anyway, we've got 10 to 11 guys that are not going to cut it. You just say, I reread your profile, or I read your profile, and perhaps I reread your profile, and maybe we're not a good fit. I wish you well on your dating journey. And then you're done. And you copy that and paste it to all of them so it's fast for you. Denise. All right, guys, don't get me in trouble here. Don't get me in trouble. eHarmony is mostly women. They don't advertise that, but because I have insider information, don't go on eHarmony. There's way too much competition, and the supply is low on eHarmony. For supply and demand, no. Yeah, so ladies, don't go on eHarmony. I know it's the site for love. Shocker, it's a site for love. There's more women on it than men. All the other dating sites, most of them are close to 50-50, so you'll be okay. But I would suggest Match for you folks that, especially over 40 in a major city. Match is the one, especially business professionals. Agreed. See if he wants to go out. Send him a message. Like, hey, I thought we had fun. Would you like to go out? Amber, enjoy dinner. The link I sent you guys in my email, or this link will be able to play the replay, actually, so you can watch this again if you want. Sandra, I don't know how to pronounce it. Let's go. We got a marriage. Look at that, guys. Our community is probably all of you helping her. Look at that. She's proposed. Christine. There we go. Your video on boundaries is awesome and has increased my presence on self-worth in men's eyes. Thank you. Appreciate that. Oh, I got to scroll down. Okay. Last of my stuff on online dating, then I want to open the floor to questions. So if you have questions about dating, relationships, sex, online dating, whatever the heck you want to ask me, start asking now because I am almost done. And then I want to answer some questions. And then we can hop off and have a party and enjoy our Thursday if it's Thursday where you are. All right. How do you determine which guy gets a response and ultimately an in-person date? We kind of covered this a little bit. I want you to build a list of 40 to 60 things that you want in a man. This honestly only takes 10 or 15 minutes. Really type out your 40, 60 things you want. And maybe even put your deal breakers, things that you can't do, like smoker or whatever. Then come up with the 5 things you really need in a partner. And now, as guys message you, 1, do you have stuff in common? Do the values see the same? And then also use this list. Does it appear they have your 5 things? Obviously, sometimes you're not sure yet if they have similar values, similar interests so far, and probably have your 5. That could be your date option. If they do not have one of your 5 things, immediately get rid of them. Be super strict on this. Remember, we're only giving you 5 things, so I want you to be strict. I want you valuing yourself, valuing your time, going on dates that have a chance to deliver the guy in 60 days. Okay. Sandra. Probably do not agree with that. For business professionals, plenty of fish is not the one. If you don't want a business professional, you want a blue collar guy, which is 100% great. They have more of that. So if you're in a part of the country or part of the world where you want blue collar or it doesn't matter, plenty of fish. If you're looking for more of a business professional, major city, match. Yes, you probably did. Oh, that's a very general question. If you ask something more specific, I'll try to help. Yeah, go Sandra. Ooh, Audrey. That one is terrible. I'm so sorry. Yeah, go on. I don't know. If you told me your age and location, I could help you a little better. For folks over 40 in major cities, I'd say match. If you feel comfortable to tell me your age and where you live, I'll give you a better answer, though. So obviously there's Silver Singles and a ton of other sites. And, oh, God. What's that? The other one for, oh, I can't remember the name for the ones, the big one for folks that are older. I don't know. I'm blanking. But I have a ton of clients. Actually, most of my clients are over 60 at this point. And Match still outperformed. Silver Singles, there's not many people on it. There's more people on Match. The other one that's even bigger than Silver Singles, I'm blanking on the name. It's big in Palm Springs. But anyway, Match is going to do better. There's more people. You just ask them out. Be like, hey, would you like to go out sometime? Some women go like, well, Mike, what about feminine energy? Like, your best friend's Helena Hart. Like, that doesn't sound very feminine to just ask a guy out. What we've found, I'm all about feminine energy and leaning back and letting a man lead. It doesn't matter when it comes to online dating. I mean, Bumble's really proven that, but like, I've been doing this well before Bumble existed. Just ask the dude out and then be feminine on the date. Like, if you ask him out and you show up, or before you get there, you don't exist in reality, right? You're just some thing that's online. You're some pictures. You could be catfishing. You may be 20 years older. You may be not look like your pictures. You may not have teeth. Once you show up in the guy's brain, you are a real human. And once you're feminine and nice and awesome on the date and have things in common, you end the date by saying, Gary, I had an amazing time. I hope I get to see you again. And then you don't text him, you don't call him, you don't do anything. You let him be a man and hunt you and come catch you. But for online dating, you can ask him out. And we've gotten, I think, 14 people married sending messages of the 15. So it's us sending, as women, sending to men, not receiving. I do have a question about sex-only relationships. How do I stop this relationship from dimming my light and smile? You end it. We've all done that. Especially during COVID, it's like, you thought the world was going to end and you're like, let me find someone to have sex with. That is definitely not my life partner, but is keeping me occupied during this tough time. Remove that person. Just break up and go find someone who you like. All right, 49 Orange County. Audrey, you should go on match.com. 100%. And if you want to play around with some dating apps, Bumble and Hinge, but I would try Match first. I would hop on Match and see what it looks like before you commit to writing the profile. I'd do a quick search and see if there's some options that. First of all, I'd look at the number. Like, this is my dating coach process as I pick up clients. I see, is there multiple thousands of people in your dating range? So if you want to date, let's say 45 to 55, I'm just making up numbers. Is there thousands of people for you? Or at least hundreds. So that means we can do 50-12-1 for a while. So even if we have 500, that's 10 times we can send our 50 messages in theory. Granted, a lot of those will not suit you. It's still 500 options. So is there a lot of options? Then I'd go through and see, I'd look at a few profiles, see if there's a few guys that look cute, see if there's a few guys that seem to have some common things. And then I'd commit to writing the profile and doing everything. If it looks like there's one or two that kind of make sense, there's probably more. Lily Beth, good question. Assuming you like this guy, so you like a guy and he wants to have sex, right? So here's the thing. You're on date 1, date 2, you're enjoying your time with a man, and all of a sudden he's making out with you and trying to get frisky, and you're not ready. If you like him, you say, hey, Bob, I'm really liking you so far. I don't get sexual until I'm in a relationship. But we're having so much fun. Can we go back to talking? And if he wants to go back to chatting, rock and roll. If he doesn't, then say, I got to go. Other thing, first, second date, like public places. Don't put yourself in opportunities. If he asks you like, hey, I want to cook you dinner, and it's date 1 or 2, say, oh my God, that's so sweet of you to cook me dinner. Like, one day that would be awesome if you cooked me dinner. But this early, like, I'd rather be in a public place. And it would make me so happy if we went to a public place. Layla, I would have to research if you're asking me what dating site to use for Australia. I know you guys have a few different ones, but you also have some of the ones we have. So I'd have to research. If you were my client, I would figure that out for you. But if you do some Google searches, you can figure out. And once you look at, if you pick maybe 5 of the major ones, I would then do a quick search based on your age. At 35, if you guys have Hinge or Bumble, that'd probably be good. Cool. Don't rule out men you grew up with. You could be dating one of them. But also find some new guys. Oh, look at this. Thank you for sharing. Yes. I'm not sure I understand this. So I've texted and FaceTime a guy since February. We are finally meeting on June 15th. This is a long distance from Oregon to Washington, and he keeps bringing up sex. How long should I wait? Sorry, you probably can't see my face. I don't know. When do you want to have sex? Are you looking for a relationship with this guy? I mean, I'd still try to get on some in-person dates and see how it goes. I mean, realistically, the first date is still the first date, even though you're going to have a head start. But I would figure out what his intentions are. And if you feel secure, safe, and excited to have sex, then go have sex. But I would have sex from a place of having the feeling that it feels right, and then having no expected outcome after the sex. And what I mean by that is after the sex, if he never calls you, you still feel like you made the right decision. That's when you wanted to have sex, and that's when was right for you. And if he does call you, cool. If he doesn't, then, you feel in your heart and in your head, you handled it right. All right, let's make this easy. I don't know if a guy's really into you. Some quick signs: introductions to friends and family, discussing and then executing upon future plans, and then just showing up, and time. Time tells all. He's texting, calling you, asking you on dates, but then this last, 60 days is the first thing to look at. How'd we do in 60 days? And then how'd we do in 6 months? And then, does he want to be exclusive at 60 days? These are all good. Does that make sense? Yes. Yeah, so the other thing back with this, some guys, right, are chasing for sex. So some guys are going to come on really strong and look great. And so what happens is they're courting you. They're showing up, they're texting you, phone calls every day, dates, nice dates, out to dinner, paying for it, holding your chair, all these things. And then they get in bed with you. And then they get in bed a few more times. And then all of a sudden, what happens? Maybe they're trying a little less. Or if they subtract to not text, if they're texting every day and all of a sudden they're texting once every 3 days, or dates once a week where maybe it was twice a week. If things come down, they got what they wanted. They wanted the sex. And now they feel like since they had sex with you, and men are not stupid, they know that builds the bonding hormone within you, that they can subtract and you'll still show up. The key here is hold your boundary, hold your value. So after you have sex, if you still want to be spoken to every day or taken on 1 or 2 dates a week or whatever you value, make sure you tell him hey, I really like you. This is how I like to be treated. If he does it, cool. If he doesn't, get rid of him. So forget, is he really into you? Are you really into him? And really into him means you evaluate the relationship. You had sex with him, so we already know you think he's a great guy. I don't care about that as your dating coach. As your dating coach, I care about how the relationship, how he how the relationship is. And so if it's great, rock and roll. If it's not, get rid of them. We don't have time for that crap. Finding our guy in 60 days. That works too. I don't care how you meet the guy. Oh, thanks. Oh, cool, you got one. You can get another one. Good to know. Thank you, Layla. And folks, if you have answers for people, I'd love to hear from you. I mean, between all of us, we have hundreds and maybe even thousands of years of dating and relationship experience. So let's not just use my advice. I'd love to hear from all of you with some good advice for myself, for everyone on here. Oh, wow. I'm so sorry you're dealing with that. Yes. Thank you. What to do when you move in together? What do you mean? Like, Alessandra, would you mind asking me something a little bit more specific? I don't know what you want me to answer here. Oh, that's good to know. Spy Dialer and Skip Trace. You can get some information on guys. Ladies, this is very important. Make sure you're safe. Go to public places when you're dating. And, if you feel like you really need to check Spy Dialer and Skip Trace, don't go out with them. These guys that have nice profiles and, I mean, granted, there's obviously going to be some exceptions of some guys that are awful, but, everyone on here is probably pretty smart. If a guy's a nice guy and probably not violent. Get it, Christine. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate you. This is a good question. I don't know. How to make sure the relationship to work? I don't really understand what you mean. Let me see what we got. I just moved in with him 2 days ago. We've been dating for 3 years. Just have fun. And before you move in, I would have done like a whole long discussion on how things are. And maybe you guys have spent a lot of time together and already know a lot of this, but like cleanliness, chores, how long can things sit in the sink for a while? Like, who's going to do laundry? Like, just having clarity on all these things, like who does laundry? What's our system? Does one person do it one week, the next person the next week? What's the system? Who makes breakfast? Who makes dinner? Just how you're going to divvy out the normal chores. Is it going to be 50-50, or do you enjoy doing some things? Does he enjoy doing other things? And that's how you're going to differentiate. So figuring that stuff out is pretty easy stuff. And then having effective communication, responding to each other is key. You're going to be together all the time, and having boundaries. So it's very key that if someone's talking or like, hey, check out this commercial, and maybe you're mid-work day and you're like, I don't want to check out a commercial. So having boundaries around like when I'm doing work, like don't bother me, for example, like I need these 3 hours. You're not going to come talk to me. But then when times are that you are going to interact, it's very important that you respond. Like, ooh, that is a funny commercial. Every time you respond to your partner, you get a +1 point. Every time you respond negatively or neutrally, you actually get a -1 point. So at the end of the day, you have to be a +5 to be in a +5 at least to be an effective partnership. So I'd be cognizant of all that stuff. Comfortable to open up. You just have to ask him if he feels comfortable. Yeah, I would just ask him. And do you feel like you're getting intimate answers from him? Are you feeling like he's holding things back? Because a lot of the time men are not going to be comfortable to share. I did a bunch of videos on this, though. If you search within my channel, so if you go to Easy Dating Coach on YouTube, and then on the search thing, type in like how to make a guy feel comfortable or how to let a guy be vulnerable. You'll find some good stuff on that. All right, that's what you need to spy on these dudes. Wow. Love letters. It's crazy. I've run into that. That happens, Annette. If that's for you, go for it. If it's not, next. Beautiful. We got rid of one. I told him I would like for him to show me a little more attention, be consistent. The next day, he didn't give me a phone call. I let him go. It's been a month. Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, or probably mostly ladies on this, that's how we get it done. Tell him what we want. He doesn't deliver. See you later. That is efficient dating. I love it. Absolutely love it. And team, that's what we do. We get them in, we get them out, and that's how we get to the right guy quickly. That's how we get the marriages. That's how we get the life partnerships. That's how we get the ones that stick. We figure it out fast. We move on fast. And if you want my help, so a lot of you are dating and kind of willy-nilly like, ooh, he seems okay, and then you just keep going. Imagine if you had me to call or to see on Zoom and be like, hey, we're on date 4. Is this guy the real deal? And imagine if I could ask you questions, everything under the sun to get to know this guy, and then tell you whether you should go on date 5, or together we talk about whether you should go on date 5, or what questions to ask him to figure out if this guy's the real deal. If you want that level of help, go down below and sign up for a strategy call so we can get you in some coaching. Now, if you're thinking about it, the only 2 things I'm looking for is someone who really prioritizes dating and relationships. That's your number 1 priority right now. If you're busy with other stuff, frankly, I don't want to work with you right now. I'm sorry. I want people that this is important because this is my life. I want this to be important for you so we can get the result. If it's not important, we're not going to get the result. So you don't want to work with me either because it's not a priority. So it's a high priority and your life's in order. You know, you got a good job, you got the money coming in, you're ready to invest time and money on yourself so we can get you your partner that's going to last forever. Just to be clear, we're not going to get you Joe Schmo. We're going to get you an amazing man that you can brag about that's not going anywhere. That's what I'm in the business of. Don't get Joe Schmo. 50-12-1 leads to an amazing man, a great guy. Boom. I agree. You, me, yes. Yes. Ooh. I think the key here is just like numbers. Like when I'm doing 50-12-1, right? And from, I've had women, for example, complain like, this guy didn't respond to me, or this guy ghosted me. My response is, good. Let's get rid of them now instead of getting rid of them in a month. If we have options, we don't care when a guy ghosts. We just go, got rid of him. Ooh, John just called me to go on a date. So you won't care if you have options, right? So 50-12-1, we don't care about the 38 that didn't respond. We only care about the 12. And then we only care about the 1 that we're going on a date with. So if we keep putting ourselves out on dates, when you do get ghosted, you don't care. The other thing is options and then time. A guy, no matter how fun date 1 through 5 is with him, does not even hit your radar. Just so you know how I think, as a coach of women, the most successful coach in the country at getting people together, by far, no one's even close to me. Here's how I think. A guy doesn't hit my radar until date 6. I don't care about the guy. That's how I want you to think. You don't even resonate with the guy until date 6. Then the next time you check in on, like, is this guy serious, is around 60 days on whether you guys are exclusive or not. All of this is a science experiment until then. You're just going out, you're being fun, you're being awesome. And you're also doing this with other men until someone really sparks your interest and proposes exclusivity. Otherwise, this is a science experiment to get you to an amazing man. Now, I know when it comes to things of love, this is harder said than done, but this is how you think. You can have fun and have your heart in on these dates, but then after the date, you come back to the brain and go 6 dates, 60 days, 6 months, 2 years. Those are the metrics Mike looks at to see what's going on. And those are the metrics I'm going to look at because Mike knows what the heck he's doing. All right. Holy crap. Hour and 23. We're kicking butt, team. What do you say? Yes. I love this. Love that. Bye, Jane. If you popped off. Oh, that's goodbye to the guy. Got it. Sorry. Woo. Yes. Once again, like, a guy doesn't want part of your heart, right? Like, just like you don't want part of a guy. Like, do you want a married guy that's like not really in the marriage, but like wants you? Like, no, you want him totally single, totally unencumbered. Same with the guy wanting you. He doesn't want, if you've got your booty call, you got to get rid of your booty call. So your full heart, full brain is available for your soulmate. Yes. Love it. That is spot on, huh? Thank you. At least 10 what? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, 6. Oh, 10 dates. What I found is 6 is a sweet spot, actually. Like, because listen, we need to be efficient, right? So a guy may go on date 4. He may go on date 5 that's trying to get laid. I find that like you really get rid of guys if you're talking about date 6. He's going on date 6 because he likes you, or he's just that an outlier is he's really bored and just wants some attention. But for the most part, if you're making a date 6, it's because he wants a relationship with you. He likes you. Because I need to be efficient and get rid of guys and get information on whether they're into you quickly. Because we can't be going on 10 dates with a guy that doesn't make sense. That's not going to commit. So 6 gets it done faster. Thank you. Yeah, sends a message. 50-12-1. And if you don't get your 1, send 100, 150. Yes. Thank you. This is true, especially if you have some things in common. If folks weren't listening, sexual attraction of a 4 or above can end up in an 8. I want compatibility at a 10 out of 10, sexual chemistry of your soulmate of an 8 and above. You know, I'm much more interested in the compatibility of partnership. We always talk about like life partnership, they become your best friend. If your compatibility is on a 10 out of 10, it's not going to happen. So another example, like if you're going on dates and the conversation's like a 6 out of 10, don't go on another one. If you're going on dates where it's at least an 8, that's realistically evolving into a 10, you're good. But if conversation's like, don't waste your time. Ladies, any last minute questions? I hit the bottom. I did it. We did it. Community, we got to everything. We did it in 1 hour and 28 minutes and 2 seconds. Impressive showing. May lose my voice by tomorrow. Agreed. I think the bar is pretty low. I think you can get that. No problem. Love that. Cindy, oh, I'm so glad you brought this up, Cindy. For all you folks that move to online to phone, your phone date cannot be longer than 15 minutes if you decide to do a phone date. This is so important. We need your time to be spent wisely. Guys are visual. You could have a 3-hour great phone date where you think you've met your husband, show up the next date, and he goes, I'm not attracted to you. And then you just wasted your time. The guy that's your soulmate, when he sees you, when he's with you, you want him enamored by you. Like, I've got the most amazing woman. She's great to talk to. She's bubbly. This is my woman. This is the one I want. We don't want the guy that's like, she's okay. Do not waste your time on the phone. Get to a Zoom, get to an in-person, get to these things because he uses these things. Just to be clear, men have 25% more receptors in their eyes than women do. He's visual. Yep, that is correct. All right. Hour and a half. I think I hit my max. We need to do this again. Did you ladies have fun? I had a blast. I hate making these videos and then I publish them and then I have to type responses. This live stuff is so much fun. Like I get your real questions in real time. We get to handle it and you get to see my real responses, not my thought out ones. It's like, boom, love it. Anyway, we're going to do this again soon, especially if you had fun. I'm going to ask for some help. I don't know why, but the YouTube gods like hate me. And my channel is literally 48% down from a month ago, like 2 months ago. They're not sharing my stuff. So help me out, please. If you like this content or any of my content, hit the share button, hit the like. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. But please hit the like, leave comments, help me out. Because YouTube hates me, and I know this is the stuff they like. They like to see activity. Share this with your girlfriends, because my channel is just like falling flat, and it's very disturbing to me because I'm trying to spend a lot of time to help all of you, and I'm a man. I like metrics, and I look at the metrics. I'm like, what? It's not doing well. I need to do better. We need to go that way. So help me out. I love all of you. Thank you for joining me. Let's see. Is there anything else? Yeah, they'll always be around this time. I'm not sure what day. It's either going to be Wednesday or Thursdays. I'm trying to figure out what's better for all of you, Wednesday, Thursday. I think I have started playing soccer again on Thursdays, so I could probably do this before then, most days. Yeah, me too. You're welcome. Thanks, Audrey. Thank you, Jane. Help Mike's channel. Help our channel. This is our community, our team. We're in this together. All right. We'll do this again. I had a blast. You ladies are fun and really smart. You give good advice. So thank you and happy dating. And before I hop off, if any of you would like private coaching, sign up for a strategy session with me. It's actually with me, not my salespeople at the moment. It's with me. So rock and roll, and not with my assistant. Literally with me. You will talk to me. We'll give you free advice for 15 minutes, and then we'll try to sign up for the next step, and then ultimately sign up for coaching. And then we get you a guy at the highest rate in the world, most successful coach at that. Okay, this was fun. We'll see you next time.